the Shelf with Christine and Katie. February is not the only romantic month on the calendar.
No.
August is Romance Awareness Month, and it's the perfect time to celebrate the romance authors and writers who give us all those meet-cute, sassy best friends, friends to lovers, soulmates, and happily ever after endings. Joining us this month, who has a passion for romance reads, is Marissa, our fellow librarian, and she's the one who provided us with a great list of recommendations for you. She also runs the Meet Cutes Romance Book Club here at the library, so check it out if that's something you're into.
If you're interested in that, we'll include the information in the description below. But for now, settle in, grab a cup of your favorite beverage, and enjoy these recommendations. Let us know in the comments what you think of these picks, and if you have titles to add, trust me, I need to make Marissa's life worse.
Yay!
And as always, if you wish to be notified of new videos, be sure to like and subscribe below. But
now, as always, let's get to those books. Like I mentioned, we're going to start off with a selection of romance books that Marissa absolutely loved reading this year. So why don't you get us started, Marissa, with our first one?
All right. So our first one is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I will preface this with, this is for fans of dark romance. If you are not a fan of dark romance,
scroll on.
When a chance encounter sparks an unlikely bond between rival murderers Sloane and Rowan, they find something elusive. The friendship of two like-minded, pitch-black souls who just happen to enjoy killing other serial killers.
Dun dun dun.
If by the murder doesn't tell us it's dark romance, I don't know what else will.
I don't know what else will.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, and our next recommendation is Fangirl Down by Tessa Bailey. Wells, a fallen golf star, enlists Josephine, his personal cheerleader, to help him reclaim his career. Their fiery partnership creates sparks both on and off the green, but can love win in this boss fangirl dynamic? This description.
It's great. I will add, it is on the spicy side.
Ooh.
Okay.
Anything Tessa Bailey, spicy.
Spicy.
Okay.
Okay. Next we have Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. Elliot and Macy started out as best friends, sharing their love of books, the California countryside, their trials and successes. But one devastating night drove them apart. Meeting again as adults with an ocean of baggage between them, can they find their way back to each other? Aw. The story is told in alternating timelines between their teenage years and their adult lives, and I have to say, I loved the cover, so I'm adding this to my screen.
It is a book that I will recommend forever. It is very good.
Nice.
Yes.
Speaking of one we mentioned before.
Hello, Stranger by Catherine Center. A romantic comedy about a portrait artist who loses her ability to recognize faces after brain surgery. The story follows Sadie Montgomery, a finalist in the North American Portrait Society competition, as she deals with the challenges of face blindness while also falling for two men. I will say this book blew my mind because I did not really understand face blindness until I read it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I recommend.
That sounds interesting.
And another one I know we've mentioned before is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And after losing her aunt, Clementine moves into the apartment she inherited and realizes suddenly that she is not alone. Horrifying. In fact, there is a man staying in the apartment as her aunt arranged 7 years ago. It's like that aunt that always wants you to get together with this certain person. The problem is that Clementine starts to fall for this man, who also pops up in her life outside the apartment 7 years later. Romance with a touch of magical realism.
Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. Clementine, another Clementine, Emmy Ryder, returns home to Rebel Blue Ranch following a horse riding accident. There, she runs into Luke Brooks, her brother's best friend. When he offers to help her overcome her fears so she can ride again, she accepts, and the two can't resist each other for long. It's the first book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and each book follows a different couple, but they all have that small town setting.
Oh, that's how it all starts.
Western romances. That sounds interesting.
I didn't think I would like Westerns, but
all right.
Good.
And speaking of another author I know who's very popular in the romance genre, this is Funny Story by Emily Henry. And Daphne always loved the way Peter told the story of how they met and fell in love. Too bad it turned out to be more of a prequel to Peter's actual love story. The one that ends with him dumping Daphne before their wedding. Not so great start. To begin a relationship with his long life best friend Petra. But this is where Daphne's story really begins as well. Stranded in Peter's hometown, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian. How all our careers start. That barely pays the bills.
Yes.
And proposing to be roommates with the only other non-Peter related person she knows. Heartbroken ex, Miles Nowak. Miles believes she deserves a chance to build her own life here. And who knows? Maybe this story Peter told was just an interlude to her real life story. The time she fell in love with her new fiance's ex-boyfriend. Say that 5 times fast.
It's a funny story.
It's a
Yeah,
funny
it's
story.
a
It's
funny
a
imagine.
funny story. This is how we met.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people love Emily Henry, and
Yes.
I'm going to be adding that book because I
Yes, it
like
was
that
very
premise to my list. I had a couple of romance picks, so to speak, and one of them is an Emily Henry. It's Book
Shocker.
Lovers.
One
by
of my
Emily
favorites.
Henry. You've read?
Yes.
Awesome. Because this is an enemies to lovers romance novel about a literary agent, Nora, and an editor, Charlie, whose worlds collide in the unlikely place of Sunshine Falls, North Carolina, after Nora's sister forces her to take a vacation. It was just the title, Book Lovers,
Yeah.
and I know so many people love Emily Henry, so I'm going to give them a whirl.
And as librarians, I feel like we're forced to read it.
Yes.
Yes. Then this is an older book, but it was actually one of the first romances that I read was Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. And in this, Louisa Clark is an ordinary girl living an exceedingly ordinary life. She takes a badly needed job working for her ex-master of the universe, Will Traynor, who is wheelchair bound after an accident. And he's always lived a huge life, pretty adventurous, and now he's pretty sure he cannot live the way he is. Basically, they had nothing in common until love brings them together and gives them everything to lose. I will say it's a feels book.
I highly recommend the movie. The
Yes.
movie is
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right, and a few of my favorite romances. So I like a romance adjacent subplot. So one that has a little bit more of a romance vibe to it, though, is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this is a great story that follows the career of movie star Evelyn Hugo from her start in the 1950s to her decision to leave show business in the late 80s. And of course, the 7 husbands along the way. But don't forget, there's only one Evelyn Hugo.
Yes. I love that book as well.
So good.
So good.
I want a movie adaptation.
That would be
so
amazing.
bad.
It's coming.
Even a
It's
TV
I
show.
know, they say that though. All right, and the story that no one can ever tell me is not the best story of all time is The Princess Bride by William Goldman. And this is a fairy tale adventure about a beautiful young woman, Buttercup, and her one true love, the farmhand Wesley. He must find her after a long separation and save her. They must battle the evils of the mythical kingdom of Florin to be reunited with each other. And you can't tell me this is not the best movie of all time.
I
It's a
do
wonderful
agree.
movie too. It's a wonderful movie as
Yes.
well.
It is.
But one of the best romances ever.
Yes.
All
And
right.
now for a few romances coming out over the next few months. Starting off with a title coming out this month is Marriage and Masty by Nisha Sharma. Another romance in the third and final installment in this Shakespeare-inspired rom-com trilogy. This installment is an ode to Twelfth Night, a friends to lovers story featuring accidental wedding, meddling families, and plenty of sizzling chemistry.
So is this series on the spice level? How would you rate this?
I would say in the middle of spice. It can get spicy,
Okay.
But as her books are going, I feel like they're kind of going on the downturn of spicy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now this is one that one of my family members recommended after being recommended the first book in the series by Marissa.
Yes.
So this is Daydream by Hannah Grace. And Henry Turner winds up in a difficult class and is going to have to work extra hard to survive his junior year of college, especially with his new title of hockey team captain as well. He cannot fail.
No.
When he accidentally crashes Haley Jacobs' book club, he finds a new friend who also offers to help him with his studies. But being a private tutor isn't ideal with her studies. her job, her book club, and the book she's trying to write.
Such a busy life.
Very busy.
However, new experiences are key to breaking her writer's block, and Henry's promising to be the one to give them to her. It's the third book in the Maple Hill series that begins with a wildfire?
No, Icebreaker.
Icebreaker.
Yes.
And of course, our favorite season. Here are some romance books that are releasing in October, and obviously perfect for beginning a spooky season. One is "If I Stopped Haunting You" by Colby Wilkins. Great title.
Yes.
And it's about an enemies to lovers romance with a spooky twist. Two horror authors, Penelope Skinner and Neil Storm, have a very public argument at a crowded event, and afterwards Penelope's reputation is tarnished. She did throw a book at Neil.
Yeah.
When they find themselves at a writing retreat in a haunted Scotland castle, which is my dream, neither is ecstatic. While both horror authors, but neither believes in ghosts until the strange noise and terrifying visions begins. They decide to stick together, their chemistry grows as the eeriness increases. Dun, dun, dun.
What's gonna happen? Also due out in October is Striker by Anna Huang. Asher Donovan is a living legend, the darling of the Premier League, the arguably greatest footballer in the world. In this case, soccer.
Soccer, right.
But antics in a recent team transfer have caused controversy, and now his feud with a former rival, now teammate, have cost them the championship, forcing them both to off-season training. Not too bad until Asher meets their new trainer and he can't take his mind off her. The problem, she's his rival's sister and completely off limits. An important thing to notice, not really important, is Asher Donovan does appear in all of Anna Huang's books.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there are cameos of him, so he's kind of
Finally got his own.
Finally got his own
spotlight.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, then we also have, I absolutely love this title.
It's my favorite title.
Raiders of the Lost Heart by Joe Segura. And this is coming out in December of this year. It has been billed as Romancing the Stone meets Raiders of the Lost Ark. Again, I love those kind of movies. Rival archaeologists must team up on a secret Aztec expedition or could leave their careers and hearts in ruins. It has been Corey's life goal to lead an expedition into the Mexican jungle to search for the remains of her ancestor, Chimali, an ancient warrior of the Aztec Empire. The Too Good to Be True invite to the all-expense-paid dig to do just that, of course, turns out to be just that. Too good to be true. She should be leading the expedition, not sharing the glory with her handsome nemesis, Dr. Ford. When they realize a thief is lurking around their campsite, they must keep their discoveries and growing attraction under wraps. I also love how her nemesis is Dr. Ford, because I thought of Harrison Ford from Raiders.
Yeah, we'll see what they did there.
Yeah. I'm excited to read that one.
Very excited.
The next one is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yaros. That one's coming out this January. Not much is known about the plot in the third installment in the best-selling Empyrean series, but the author has been quoted as saying there will be politics, new adventures, old enemies, and of course, dragons.
The best ingredients.
Yes, I mean, you have to have dragons. As the third book in an anticipated 5-book series, this midpoint book is sure to be pivotal for the story as well as our beloved characters.
I'm waiting on that.
Oh, yeah.
Myself.
I'm
Can't
excited.
wait.
I know you guys love it, so
Yes.
I'm just here to
Where's
but
dragons?
it's the dragons. Dragon School.
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
Romance. I
Yep.
want more. So we hope you enjoyed these picks and maybe found a few to add to your reading list. We would love to hear what some of your favorite romance reads are. Just let us know in the comments. But until next time, happy reading.
Happy
Take care.
reading. Bye.